What is going on out there, peeps? Man, I'm telling you, Al Qadami is the man. He didn't waste no time. He found out exactly what they needed to do, what they needed to get done, how the man started getting things done on the way back as well. He did not play around. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Before we get into that, just a quick reminder, a lot of you have moved over to start buying precious metals, buy on a dip, and then watch it grow. This is a good time right now. For those of you who have not done it yet, I highly recommend you jump on it. So, if you're thinking about buying precious metals, please give a consideration to our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. Their link will be in the description. If you go over there and you buy $100 worth of precious metals, use promo code Pimpy, Pimpy, and get a free half ounce of silver. All right, we got Pimpy's Investment Chat. It's the same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we talk about investment opportunities, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. No politics over there. Bring the politics over to here. This is the hidden things in front of your eyes. In here, you can talk about politics. I don't have a problem with it. We talk about NESARA, Gesara, QAnon, 9/11, false flag events, all those things. This is like an open discussion room, okay? So you could express your own opinion in here and not get it removed, all right? So, anyways, what's going on? I was telling you, man, this guy is no joke. So, over here in Basra, hours after Al-Qadami's visit, the announcement of the result of the major security campaign. So, look, on the way here, you'll see earlier articles on the way here. Al-Qadami is putting the crunch down on the people over there in Basra, saying that, there's a lot of criminals over there. We need to start cleaning this up. And we know why that is. There are some concerns about outside investors who want to come in and invest into Iraq. But of course, they can't feel secure about their investment if you have a lot of criminality running around there, or you got to worry about, terrorists, armed gangs, anything like that. So sure enough, the crackdown, the squeeze was put on last night. So the Ministry of Interior announced that Basra police had implemented a major security campaign to pursue suspects wanted for justice throughout the province. They didn't just do it in one area, man. They cleaned house a little bit. Okay, a spokesperson for the Ministry of Interior, he was a major, and he said a statement that, according to the directive of the respected Minister of Interior, a large security force has implemented for the past 3 days under supervision and field follow-up of the Basra Province Police Commander. He said to implement arrest warrants against wanted persons in all parts of the country. So that's what I'm talking about. These are the steps that we want to see happen. This is the type of thing that the United Nations is watching. This is the type of thing that we're watching. We want outside investors in there, but again, you have to make sure that you have some stability over there in your country. He explained that the operation resulted in the arrest of 2 defendants who were wanted in accordance with Article 4, the anti-terror law. And there was another 304 defendants who were wanted in court according to various criminal activities. And they were able to confiscate, 15 rifles, 3 pistols, narcotics, drugs, devices, paraphernalia. So, yeah, that's pretty good there. The security outcome of the emergency police regimes and the emergency police detached also include the seizure of 1,985 wheels. Okay, so I'm going to go with vehicles and 1,481 motorcycles, all in violations of traffic directors. Okay, so good. This is what we want. I keep talking about we need to get a lot of this cleaned up. He needs to take steps necessary to make sure outside investors will feel secure about coming into the country. This is a pretty big move, and so I'm happy to see this. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Where did the U.S. forces go after the withdrawal from Taji? So when they left, they went over to the, I believe it's pronounced N Al-Assad base. It's over there in, where's that at? Over there by Ambar. That's where it is. So the forces didn't really leave. They just moved over to another base. So the Joint Operation Command announced that it had received the 8th position in the camp. So its 8th base was turned over to the Iraqi forces. Again, another major step. That's what we're looking for. Erbil and Baghdad to start new rounds of oil budget talks next week. call me crazy, but something tells me we're going to get this ironed out this next week. I mean, again, it's very impressive. I was watching as many anything that would cover Al Kadimi's visit here. There wasn't a lot of them, but I kept fishing around, looking for stories, looking for interviews, and so I could just tell you the ones that I was able to catch was very impressive. He went there on a mission, and he accomplished a lot, in my opinion. So hopefully, you get these people who don't want to see him succeed. We know this. That happens in politics. So I'm sure there's some people who are going to just try to downplay it like it was no big deal. But the fact that they had over 120 companies wanting to come in, they signed memorandums of understanding, saying they wanted to come in and do business. So again, this is a major deal. So let's see here. So again, Baghdad and Erbil, once again, we'll start next week. They'll get these things ironed out. I think when it comes to, what's his name? The person who ran, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Barzani, there it is. And Al Kadimi. When it comes to those two seem to have everything on agreement. It's just, again, politics getting in the way of the agreement being signed. So let's hope that it gets ironed out. A spokesman for the international coalition, we do not want to stay in the areas liberated from ISIS. There's no need to it. So it's just a quick article saying that they handed over the 8 bases. There's no reason to be there. They went in the areas where ISIS is seen the most. So joint operation, the international coalition handed over its 8th site. Okay, so we know about this. The Joint Operations Command announced today, Sunday, that it received its 8th position in Camp Taji from the International Coalition Forces. The spokesperson for the Joint Operations, Major General, now I'm not going to pronounce the name, said in a press statement that the International Coalition Forces handed over this site, number 8, in the Taji camp to the Iraq forces. Okay, so we heard about this. We knew they were going to do this. We also know that Trump was talking about having the rest of the forces moved out in his second term. So he said there could be a possibility to get him out sooner, which, trust me, if Trump has a chance to do it, he'll do it. A minister in the Kurdistan government determines the date of the regional delegation visit to Baghdad. It's going to be next week sometime, I would imagine. So the Minister of Planning in the Kurdistan regional government announced on Sunday that the regional delegation will visit the capital, Baghdad, to resume delegations and resolve the differences of the outstanding issues from both sides. So he said, reported from Erbil today that the latest agreement reached by the two sides will continue until the end of 2020 due to the absence of approval of the fiscal budget law for this year. We are preparing to agree on the budget for 2021. So it looks like there's 2 types of agreements that are going to get knocked out here. They're doing the one for 2021 is obviously probably closer to being agreed upon than the 2020. Nonetheless, they're going to continue to keep going and get this thing ironed out. So let's talk about the minister continue to say that at the end of this week or the early next week, the delegation will go back to Baghdad, stressing that the discussions between the two sides are continuing and have not stopped, nor should they stop. So here it is. Al-Ghanami announces that forces will be sent to Basra to arrest the killers within hours. And we know they already did that. This was an early article, and they went in there and were successful. Look at this. Al-Kadimi threatens to dismiss Basra officials. We must detect criminals as soon as possible. So look, he's saying you guys got to start doing your job and you got to do it a lot quicker. Okay? The Iraq Prime Minister waived on Saturday that dismissal of Basra government officials from their posts, especially the security leaders, against the background of the recent wave of assassinations against activists in the protests, calling on them to reveal the criminals as soon as possible. In his speech coming out, his visit in Basra, and his meeting with the security and military leaders in Basra Operational Command Headquarters, he said during the meeting, according to a statement from the office received by the news, our presence in Basra is exceptional because Basra is important to us and we do not accept failures to protect its security, as they shouldn't, all right? So, again, we know where a lot of these people are getting their orders from. A lot of these are usually, we find out, Iranian-backed people, and they're killing the protesters, all right? But you know what's happening also? There's a huge uprising in Iran that a lot of people aren't talking about. Very interesting. Anyways, you can see him here again saying, hey, put the screws down on the people. Here's the other one. American Institute. The withdrawal may be achieved before the completion of 3 years. 3 reasons that prevent American investors in the past. So look at the American Institution considered the visit of Prime Minister Al-Kadhimi to the United States successful. And while he spoke about 3 reasons that hindered the U.S. investment in Iraq previously, he indicated that with the withdrawal promised by President Trump may take place before the end of the 3-year period. The director of the American Hudson Institute for Political and Military Analysis said that the visit of the Iraq Prime Minister was good, not only through his meetings with the president, but also through the rest of the meetings in which the Iraq delegation made progress on the economic levels. Yeah, I told you there was tons of meetings going all on at one time. Trump talked about the agreement with Iraq selling more weapons and energy deals, as well as the issues of military presence, has been resolved. We may have to wait for the post-election period. So once Trump's reelected, they'll probably reevaluate what it is they need to do. He pointed out that the American withdrawal, which President Trump has set for 3 years, is subject to change on the grounds that ISIS had been cordoned off and Iraq forces, with the help of the United States, maintain the situation, and the organization is no longer able to establish a state again, as it did happen in 2014. Noting that the Iraq forces had been reduced there, there is a need to continue training Iraq forces and providing air and intelligence support. Okay, so look, we could get out of there a little earlier if Iraq can prove that they're able to hold their own and prevent ISIS from rising up again. That won't be a problem under Trump. That's not going to ever be a problem under Trump. Under Biden is different. We know that the Obama administration armed, funded, and trained ISIS leaders. He even came out and said so. So if Biden's not in there, then I don't expect to see any kind of uprising again from ISIS at all. It's one thing if they're there in idea, but you won't see them in forces again as long as Trump is there. Okay, so that's it for now. This is a large article, and it goes on to explain all the different companies that want to come in there. They've already made a memorandum of understanding. There's a lot of people who are making agreements. They're eager to get in there. We're eager for them to get in there. So that's what's going on for now. Again, look at more positive steps in the right direction. See, what I don't want to see happen is people get immune to the good news. You know what I mean? And you become impatient. Everything we're seeing, one step at a time, seems to be a great step in a positive direction. Okay, so that's what's going on for now. I'm telling you, just keep your head up. Just hang tight. We are definitely getting there. Okay, so if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you later.